please drop down there right over there. Okay, so we're going to have some basic talk on baby skin care. And being a neonatologist, probably my focus would be more on newborn skin and infant skin rather than it's always intriguing how the reading you, I keep getting distracted. So it's very important for us to understand that the transition of a fetus to newborn is a very, very complex procedure, and despite almost over 100 years of investigations, pondering, it's still not very clear why something happens at that time. Boiling it down to the skin, it is very important to figure out how the fetus, when it becomes a newborn, the skin needs to act as a barrier to water loss, light and irritants, which was not happening in the intrauterine environment. It has to take over the function of infection control and immunosurveillance, and that is one of the things how atopic dermatitis, allergic reactions, irritant dermatitis come into play. It needs to be resilient towards mechanical trauma, and we understand that much more clearly in the preterm skin, which is highly predisposed to injury. It needs to develop its sensation and tactile stimulation, one of the 5 special senses. It needs to thermoregulate, and the sweat glands are very important with the other neuroendocrine process, which will take care of temperature, attempt to take care of the temperature maintenance. And of course, over time, it needs to generate an acid mantle formation, which protects the skin and its structures. So this is how the structure of the skin looks like, and you basically have the stratum corneum, you have the epidermis, and then you have the dermis with the blood vessels. Each one plays a different function. Of course, the physical barrier is the stratum corneum. Normally there are about 90 to 100 layers of these dead flattened epithelial cells which form the stratum corneum, and they help in physical protection of the underlying skin. As you can see over here, the dermis is much more resilient and keeps on generating nutrition and other cells to help in structure of the skin. There is tactile stimulation, thermal regulation. All of these functions are very complex and need to be in appropriate amounts and development to be able to function. There is quite a lot of controversy over how much is the newborn skin developed at birth. And overall, the message we get across various studies is that it is very difficult to evaluate for reasons of ethical point. You don't take a biopsy from a normal baby and send it for an analysis. You need to be able to indirectly assess. And one of the assessments can be done through transepidermal water loss, which is now used as a surrogate marker for skin function. The normal transepidermal water loss is roughly 4 to 8 grams per meter square per hour, which is the adult value. But the same value is seen in term newborns and in infants. So that comes to a conclusion that the newborn skin is actually as mature in its function in most of the cases as adult skin. So despite being in a watery environment, I mean, you dip your finger in water outside for 5 minutes and your finger becomes a wrinkled gray. But this baby has been dancing for almost 9 months in an intraamniotic fluid environment and is able to maintain its skin integrity, which is hats off to the constituents of the amniotic fluid, the temperature, and of course the vernix. So whatever said and done, a term baby will have the same integral function read as the TWL as an adult skin, and it is only what happens after birth and how the environment interacts with the skin which will bring about a change and possible problems with the newborn. So this was as far as term babies is concerned. When we look at preterm, however, younger the gestation, the transepidermal water loss is actually much more. As you can see, it's almost 10 times that of a normal term newborn. So they obviously lose a lot of water. Their stratum corneum is very thin. So we have a poor epidermal barrier with few cornified layers. We have a dermis that is deficient in structural proteins with poor mechanical properties, and the skin is extremely fragile. you put a normal sticking tape and try to yank it off, almost the dermis comes off. And that is one of the problems as a neonatologist we face. And we need to be completely aware of this. And we then try to work towards how to maintain the skin integrity, working in the harshest of environment for the preterm newborn care. We are aware that vernix does not coat out below 28 weeks of gestation, which adds on to a problem even more. And of course, we are at the risk of increased permeability to exogenous materials, iodine, everything gets absorbed, glutaraldehyde gets absorbed across the skin, and we may end up with things like iodine toxicity or even hemoglobin. We have a delayed barrier maturation which will take some time to sort itself out. However, said, as long as we maintain the integrity of the skin, I believe that this function will slowly but gradually come about to normal. And of course, there's a dreaded infection which can occur because the skin is so thin, we have abraded it with our procedures, and we land up with exposing this delicate skin to the environment which is full of bugs. These are the issues we see with the preterm skin. So the vernix becomes very important for us, and the vernix is you're all over the place, sorry. So the vernix has multiple functions. It maintains the water protein layers over the skin. It has its immunological function and acts as a barrier. It's a very good emollient, and it also maintains the temperature immediately after birth. It has immunological functions included within its list of various functions, and therefore actually we need to understand that the vernix is going to be a very important component of the newborn skin. We as neonatologists initially were very much in a hurry to remove this vernix because we believe that the vernix comes in the way of treatment. But currently, as we know, even UNICEF now recommends very strongly that we do not clean off the vernix immediately after birth, but try to keep it on for at least 6 hours, if not more. There are many places in the world where the vernix is not cleaned off at all, and it is allowed a natural degradation, and then the baby is cleaned up. This helps in maintaining the temperature and also maintains the infection barrier, which is so very much required in these babies immediately after birth. So the vernix becomes very important for us. The next thing we talk about is the microbiome. Everything is now microbiome. The gut is microbiome, the brain is gut-brain axis, which includes the microbiome. The skin has its own microbiome, and I think this research suggests that it is a very important aspect of normal skin development. So we know that colonies of bacteria, archaea, fungi, protozoa and viruses actually normally resident on the superficial skin. They help the skin barrier in protecting itself from the pathogens. They may influence chronic disease and overall immune health. So atopic dermatitis becomes an important aspect as far as the normal microbiome of the skin is concerned. A healthy skin microbiome is dependent on the diversity and abundance of the normal microbiome, which we may change with many of our processes. So the infant microbiome is very important in certain allergic and environmental factors causing long-standing disease way beyond infancy also. So atopic dermatitis, food allergy, rhinitis, asthma, all of these have some implication as far as the skin microbiome is concerned, and whether it's the hygiene hypothesis or it is the hygiene associated changes in the microflora, both of these seem to contribute to an abnormal skin microbiome and predispose these babies further on to allergic manifestations. We are aware that we seem to have shifted the slides completely out of the auditorium. Is there a reason for that? I mean, I can give half the talk if you tell me. We'll make it half the slide. But anyway, we'll continue, don't worry. That's alright, no problem. Okay, so going back to colonization, the baby's skin, the fetal skin, is actually not as sterile as one thinks it to be, and apparently there is some transfer of microorganisms. But more importantly, the route of delivery apparently establishes the normal. Now we're ready for first line. So the, the, the way we deliver the baby will decide. For example, if you actually see, this is the vaginal flora, and it is mimicked almost the same way in babies who are born vaginally, while this is the skin flora of the mother, and those babies who undergoes cesarean birth will sort of tend to mimic that sort of flora. So how a baby delivers becomes very important as to what is the original flora listed. Suffice to say, it is not only just the mode of delivery which may influence the gut flora, but it's also the skin contact which is going to decide what the gut flora finally is going to, the skin flora is finally going to be. So, when a mother has a skin-to-skin touch or breastfeeds the baby, gradually we have a sort of change in that flora, and what we realize is actually more the diversity in the skin flora may predispose to more problems. So we need specific types of microbiome. Thank you. So what we see is that those babies who are breastfed for a longer time and for a longer duration tend to have slightly lower diversity, but it all seems to focus around streptococcus, which is apparently very beneficial. So the streptococcus species seen in an increased quantity in those babies who are breastfed indicates there's the potential skin benefit, and we probably believe that not only skin contact but breastfeeding, both of these are very important for a normal bacterial flora to reside on the baby's skin. So the impact of skin-to-skin touch now becomes very important in basic skin care, and we realize that this increases the transfer of normal maternal flora to the baby. There is lesser diversity, as I mentioned earlier on, but there is more specific colonization which is beneficial to the baby, and there is a possible reduction in the allergic conditions seen in these babies who have a prolonged skin-to-skin contact between them and their mothers. So having gone through the basic thing of transition from fetus to newborn, having gone into the basic vernix constituents and the benefit, and discussing a bit about microbiome, I will now try to focus on a couple of simple things which we discuss in normal bathing. So one is bathing and cleansing. Just to show off, how many of us decide on immediate bathing of a baby after birth?
Nobody. No.
Not one hand, I'm impressed. So good, so when one hand, there was one hand. Okay, fine. So one of the things, of course, we clearly mention is to maintain the baby's temperature, especially in extreme temperature. It is best not to undergo a baby bath immediately after birth. Many centers now suggest having a baby bath at least 6, if not more hours after birth. So you can just gently wrap the baby, keep the baby warm, and the vernix and the normal temperature should be able to maintain this baby's temperature. Wiping a baby dry is not the same as giving a bath. But do remember, the baby bath has something which needs to be done much later on as compared to what we originally thought of getting a clean baby shown to the parents. Having said that, once we think about a baby bath, we need to discuss things like a plain water bath or using a cleansing agent. So any cleansing agent contains surfactant. So it just it reduces the fat into small missiles, removes the physical dirt by surfactant activity, and cleans any surface, including the baby's skin. So they can emulsify lipids, but if they are not the right constituents, they can damage the stratum corneum lipids and cause disruption of this barrier. This leads to skin irritation, and this can vary from mild, moderate to very severe, and can remain on the baby for a much longer time despite removing that surfactant afterwards. It has been proven without doubt that bathing is superior to washing, and liquid baby cleansers may be superior to bathing the baby with water alone. So one of the things is for sure that instead of using dry powders or solid soap, a liquid surfactant solution, appropriate constituents work out much better for a baby. So one of the recommendations which has come out from various studies is that infant bathing should use liquid products with very low irritancy surfactants, minimizing the amount used. So use the minimum amount of the liquid that you're using, use it and rinse it properly after use, and avoid overbathing. So once a baby has been bathed, you need not give a second bath unless the baby is physically very soiled. Rather than that, you may extend the frequency that the baby can have a routine bath once in 2 or 3 days also. Baby is not going out to work, baby is not sweating a lot. It's basically just the urination and the stool, occasional pause or vomit which needs to be cleaned, which can be done locally. So do not frequently give a bath because it changes the microbiome and probably physically disrupts the skin. Coming next to bottom care, which I think all of us are very much into. We get a rough bottom because the baby pees or poos or opens bowels frequently, and especially breastfed babies tend to stool more often than those who are formula fed. Breastfed stools usually are slightly more acidic as compared to formula fed babies, which is not a bad thing, but it's just that if you don't clean it well enough and soon enough, constant exposure of these breastfed stools can really cause major rash, inflammation and denudation of the superficial layers of the skin. So this diaper area is not meaning diaper, but the diaper area is the area which covers the genitals and the bottom. Okay, it is very important that we focus on reducing the moisture content paradoxically. Too much moisture in a closed environment will cause maceration. We need to have just the right amount of moisture in these situations, and thereby we need to absorb off the excess fluid that is usually stagnant lying around because of the urine and the stool. Now, infant diapering has actually progressed over the years. If you go down the history, it's very interesting. We started off with cloth, which I think quite a lot of our communities even still do because of economic reasons. Then we had disposable diapers with cellulose core and a plastic outer cover. So it used to absorb things very nicely, but a plastic prevented breathing of the skin across. The next one was super absorbent material, which absorbed everything. I suspect it absorbed bits of the skin also ultimately. It was so super absorbent. And now currently we have diapers which have absorbent gelling material with a permeable or breathable outer cover. So now you have something which keeps the skin dry and at the same time allows the skin to breathe. And that makes it an optimal environment for the skin not to break down under these circumstances. So basically overhydration, friction because of the urine and the feces, an increase in the pH paradoxically, diet, all of these depending on what type of milk the baby is taking will cause disruption of stratum corneum, lipids and ceramides, and ultimately cause epidermal inflammation, which we also see as diaper dermatitis. So this is clinically seen as aberration, hypopigmentation and hyperproliferation of the skin. So one of the commonest questions we get asked is darkening of the skin in this area. Why is that happening? Or worse, that the bottom area looks white as compared to the remaining skin. So early on there's hypopigmentation and later on there will be hyperpigmentation. So one of the commonest problems, and I really don't have a specific answer except to say give it time, let the skin breathe, use some emollient and let's see if the baby's skin comes back to normal. So cleaning the bottom then becomes very important, and the skin can be cleansed with a soft cloth and oil and water solution, the miscible solution to assist in physical soil removal. Cleansing with wipes. So everyone uses baby wipes. Even those who say they're economically challenged, they usually see some sort of baby wipe being used, especially with aloe vera in it, alcohol-free, benzyl alcohol-free. But they're still using it. So fair enough. We are advancing in one way or the other. So cleansing with wipes of soft, non-woven substrate and emollient cleansers has led to a reduction in skin irritation, and that is for sure. There is no doubt about that. Not only in the general population, but also to those babies who are predisposed to atopic dermatitis. They are also extended to use in preterm and all the babies who are hospitalized at present. Now, this seems to become the norm of cleaning now, rather than abrasive rubbing with a dry cloth or a tissue. What they have observed is when we use these wipes, there is actually a lower transepidermal water loss, which is what our aim is. And the wipes used on this skin should contain only essential materials. And you will need to do your homework to find out what is essential material, because each company is going to say this is essential and this is not. So find out basic things, but they should usually be alcohol free, because alcohol irritates the skin, hardens the skin, so you do not want alcohol. So what we have is using cellulose diapers with a breathable skin will reduce the wetness portion, will lower the rashes, reduce diaper dermatitis, lowers the skin pH, and finally reduces fungal infection. So all these components are very important for us to understand the concept of using diapers in today's world. There are only two queries over here, and they are practical queries. So one is the economics of the whole diaper system, though they seem to be very good. If I remember rightly, the average cost of any diaper is anywhere between 10 rupees to 12 rupees a diaper, and assuming at least 6 changes in a day, I'm looking at about 40 to 50 rupees per day as an additional expenditure. So that is one query. And the second thing is, most of the studies that have come across have been done mainly in the temperate climates, in the cool climates. So does the same hold true for us is another issue, that the abundant humidity, the higher temperatures, the excessive sweating. So I think we need to probably do a lot more studies in our region to be able to vouch an absolute certainty that diapers are superior to the current alternatives that we have. Having said that, it is for sure that when we use cotton nappies, the fluid and the soiled material remains in contact with the skin for a longer time, especially during sleep, instead of being absorbed by the super absorbent material. So we need to weigh the pros and cons and probably have more studies before we can completely and absolutely suggest that in our environment, in our temperatures, in our weather, in our climate, diapers would be a good change from the current practices. Right. Someone is popping news over here, so I can't move forward. I still have 1 minute and 50 minutes. Thank you. Okay, so the majority of diaper dermatitis that we come across in clinical practice is basically contact dermatitis, but as it continues for a longer time, then we start thinking of infective dermatitis, that is commonly fungal dermatitis. So we need to make sure that we remove the presence of infection before we further treat the diaper dermatitis. That's why an antifungal with without an antibacterial cream is an important aspect to treating the dermatitis first. And topical treatments include a semi-permeable film over the damaged skin to allow repair. There are many polymerized sprays available which form a thin biodegradable film over the infected or the allergic or the inflamed skin, and helps in preventing direct contact of contaminants with that skin, allowing it to heal. We need to provide a physical shield between the skin and the irritants. Once again, this does it quite well. It needs to remain in place and not be removed by feces or by constant physical cleaning. And the skin repair occurs more quickly when treated with various creams or films that are semi-permeable to water. So it allows water to move out, because complete occlusion once again is breaking a baby in its own fluid. So we need to have a semi-permeable system so that we can enhance and have a clean bottom rapid. All the emollients we have from India. Every baby traditionally has been provided with an oil massage. So there are some things like vegetable oil should only be used cautiously. Sorry, one more minute. Vegetable oil should be used cautiously in warm weather, otherwise we might start baking the babies. Mineral oil or vegetable oils high in linoleic acid, such as safflower and sunflower, have been recommended on infant skin without any doubt. Olive oil, despite the fact that 60 to 70% of our population uses olive oil, is at present a no-no because the oleic acid is harsher on the baby's skin and disrupts the baby's stratum corneum and increases the transepidermal water loss. Sunflower seed oil, petrolatum, all have shown improved skin barrier recovery, while mustard seed, olive, soya bean delay skin barrier recovery. The soybean oil, I'm not sure if I've heard anyone use. Probably it must be in Madhya Pradesh or somewhere. I'm not sure. Someone can confirm. So these are the oils which should be used, and there are certain ones which definitely need to be cautious of. We've already spoken on that. So this is where we start using emollients. This is a baby who's just 1 day old. He's an IUGR baby and has got this dry, cracked, chaotic skin. And this is going to predispose to a lot of transepidermal water loss in this IUGR baby. So emollients probably will be a very good reason to use over here. Emollients are also used to prevent or to treat mild atopic dermatitis, and there are some studies which actually suggest that regular use of moisturizer may actually reduce the incidence of atopic dermatitis and even bring about a temporary relief if it is a very mild atopic dermatitis. These are a couple of studies done in Japan and the UK. So I conclude this talk with just a few points. The extrauterine environment poses a challenge to the neonatal skin. Transepidermal water loss is a surrogate marker for adequate skin function, since it would be very wrong to do punch biopsies to figure out the other functions. Mode of delivery may alter the flora, but changes appropriately with breastfeeding and skin-to-skin contact. So kangaroo mother care, skin-to-skin contact care should be heartily encouraged. Warnings may represent an important factor in skin integrity, and maybe we should really start thinking of not removing it as quickly as possible after birth. The skin microbiome probably plays a very important role in future diseases, atopic dermatitis, asthma, a lot of them. Improvement in skin care is based on physiological studies, but in our country, economics becomes a very important deterrent, and using the right substance in emollients would reduce and treat various skin conditions in the baby. Thank you.